Welcome to another episode of Meet the Expert in VMworld 2017 for vBrownBag. I'm super excited here to have Angelo Luciani, who is an outstanding member of the community. Angelo, one thing that you and I have probably never done is sat down and have a beer, so we don't know each other very well.
That's correct.
And this is exactly what this is about.
Fantastic.
So, tell me about you.
Great, good. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. What can I say? Traditional IT architect, came from the financial services, looked after a whole bunch of Dell servers, Cisco UCS equipment, and then we moved from a bare metal environment to a fully 100% virtualized environment, if you can believe it. I know a lot of people get to the 90 point and then seem to stall a little bit.
You guys literally did it.
Yeah, we actually got to 100%. We used a lot of tools like SRM and things like that. We are very, very pleased with our system. And then I moved over to the vendor side. And now
how long ago was that? Because every time I've met you through Twitter, basically, you are one of the most, let's say this way, outgoing members of every community. Always, and I think your hashtag is hashtag VMware selfie, right?
Yes.
Or VMworld
selfie.
So if you do that, you're gonna find out that he's taking, hundreds of selfies. Hundreds of selfies. It's amazing.
Thanks for that.
I've always known you to be working on the vendor side. So when was this?
So this was 2014. I went to the vendor side. Yeah. So before, for about 16, 17 years, I was a customer. So working in large enterprise. So yeah, I'm really excited. I'm in a community role where I get community engagement, outreach, and things like that. So I'm very excited.
Which vendors did you work for?
So I work for Nutanix, and since 2014, that's who I've worked for.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Question for you. What do you find, especially because you are a prominent part, like I was saying, of the community? What do you find that builds community? How do you really say this community is healthy?
Yeah, so I really believe. So I was a VMUG leader from 2010.
We haven't discussed where you're from.
Right. Yeah. Good point. Yeah, I'm from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Yay. And I was a VMUG leader for Toronto from 2010.
Oh, okay. As a customer.
Yeah, and exactly as a customer. And part of that, so it's really grown over the years. And part of that growth, I think, can be attributed to some of the tactics, if you will, that we use to build the community there. And one of them, for me, was actually getting to know the people in the seats. So folks that would attend, I would actually spend time going seat to seat, table to table at some of the larger conferences, and actually get to know people, where they came from, who they work for, a little bit of their background. And over time, as you start building those relationships, and as they start getting deeper, you'll start to see that those folks become a core for your community. And then over time, it's those folks that are sort of like your advocates. And when they go back to their offices, they kind of spread the word and then attract newcomers, and then you start building relationships with those folks. So for me, it's really about getting to know people and building deep relationships, as deep as you can, right? Because you see them, you don't see them every day, but you see them often enough that you can have a relationship. Some of the things we did in between our VMUGs is we always kept constant contact with the folks. So it wasn't like have a meeting, don't hear anything, have a meeting. We tried to keep folks informed on Twitter, social media, in between. So and it's great because when you come to VMworld, you'll see
all that effort pays off.
Exactly.
Right? It's quite a different thing when you see someone, and if you just met them one time and it was very shallow,
right?
You kind of, hey, how are you?
Right.
Well, if you've been talking to him all year, it's like, my friend, how are you? You really develop that, and I totally echo what you're saying.
Yeah.
When you create those relationships, people want to get together just to see each other.
Right.
It doesn't matter what we're going to really be discussing.
Right.
They're not looking at the VMUG saying, oh, I don't like the topic.
Right.
No, they're saying, oh, there's a VMUG. I'm definitely going.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then the other thing I would say is, I really encourage, because our groups are made up of such diverse backgrounds, I really encourage the different discussions. Because let's say, for instance, someone in our group is an expert in Puppet, for example, orchestration, automation, or and others aren't. I really draw that person in to sort of share their experience with the other folks. And so it really starts building like this, starts connecting the dots for people. So it's really encouraging to see.
It's so funny to most of the things that we've discussed, and this attitude of sharing and inclusivity is basically why we're both in vBrownBag.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But I think I joined quite much later, so I haven't had that much of an interaction with you. As you know, we've talked a little bit, but it's never been like a real good, spend times at the booth kind of thing. So.
Right. And having this discussion here for the first time, so to speak, was wonderful. It's great. Yeah. And I'm glad that you kind of pinged me. I pinged you here because we were watching an earlier recording. It says, hey, maybe we should do something. So it's fantastic.
I wanted to ask you about virtual design.
Okay,
because I think that most people that are involved in the community, they know that you, first of all, community guy, but they also know, hey, this is the guy doing virtual design master. So tell us, especially about your role, a little about the program for whoever has not seen it, about your role and what you like about it.
Right. Yeah. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. So, Virtual Design Master is an online IT design competition, if you will. So we get participants from around the world that compete on design challenges that we issue each week. And over the course of several weeks, folks get drop off the competition, kind of like a Master Chef or The Apprentice, kind of has that kind of twist. We bring in experts, we bring in VCDXs and people with a lot of industry knowledge to judge and vet the submitted design docs.
Yeah. It's not just one person there, they actually have a panel there.
Right, yeah, we have a panel typically of 3 people. This is really, and it's been running for 5 years now, and this is such an exciting give back, if you will, to the community.
Because there's no other thing like that, especially for people that are trying to get better in infrastructure design.
Right.
There's nothing like it.
Right.
And especially because it's real. You're putting it on the internet. This is public, so it's not like you can just hide. Nobody know who I am. No, if you're a contestant, you're putting yourself out there, right?
Yeah, I'm really proud that all of our winners are global. We had someone from India win the first year, from the U.S. another year. So it's a global outreach, if you will. That's what's really exciting. I get a lot of feedback from folks saying they've learned so much. There's really a compressed time frame with it, so it really puts contestants under a lot of pressure to build designs.
Just like the real world.
Yeah, exactly. But the feedback is everyone that competes, even when they drop off, they're really happy that they participated. They learned from, they got to play with different technologies that may not have been in their comfort zone, if you will, and they got to get industry community feedback on how to better improve. So it's really exciting. I think it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah.
And I have always said this from the beginning. Melissa, Eric, and myself, we're not the stars of the show. We facilitate the show, but it's those participants that are putting themselves out that are the stars of the show, and that's what's really exciting to see.
Well, I think this interview has been, this has been just an introduction to you. I gather that there's much more there.
Right.
But I think this is a good enough introduction so people can, how can people reach out to you and get to know you better?
Right, thank you. So on Twitter, Angelo Luciani, not a very difficult Twitter handle, and I blog at virtualize.com, and really I spend a lot of my time on Twitter. So yeah, thank you.
Me too. Hey, always, if you're not on Twitter, come on, get on Twitter, right?
Yeah.
Listen, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.